What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of With the Boys. And today we are going to be talking about assassinations. Today I'm going to talk about JFK.
I'm going to be talking about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington.
Rip around. I'm talking about MLK and John Lennon.
And I'm going to go ahead and jump into it with the most recent topic that we all got. The attempted Trump assassination that just happened a week ago. So that happened Saturday, July 13th, inside of a Butler farm showground, right? So some type of like fairgrounds, which is kind of even more surprising, but we're gonna lay out all the facts here. They had snipers on buildings right behind Trump, and then there was some buildings. The shooter was 400 feet away, so they didn't have anybody on them buildings right there. They had only local police monitoring the area. Secret Services was only right around Trump, and that was it. What we do know is that Trump was shot in the ear. Well, allegedly shot in the ear. We'll go ahead and put that in there.
Is it allegedly?
What I also know is that what all the far right Republicans was doing with tape in their ear looked absolutely ridiculous.
Goofy.
Y'all need to quit.
It's like a damn cult.
I was seeing memes talking about they're wearing tape on their ears looking like Nelly's Band-Aid when that was a thing.
Yeah, that was just y'all pushing it, okay? Like I don't know what the whole taping your ear up thing was. That's funny though. Y'all look goofy, but we do know that the shooter's name was Thomas Matthew Crooks, right? 20-year-old. He had an AR-15. He was apparently he was a nursing home kitchen worker. And he was a registered Republican.
And donated money
That's
to the
crazy.
Biden Foundation.
That's a wild part of it, that he was a registered Republican. Now, he did supposedly donate $15 to Act Blue back in 2021, which is a liberal campaign fund. Now, $15. I don't know what that's for. However, a former student that went to the same high school as him, that was in the same class as him, remembers him always standing his ground on the conservative side of debates in class. So, like, I don't know. It confirmed Republicans. Suspicious. Now, you add on top of that, just ironically, he was in a BlackRock commercial back in 2022 because BlackRock. So I was explaining this to Brady earlier. I don't know if you guys know what BlackRock is or not, but it's up there with one of the biggest financial asset companies in the world, financial managing companies in the world, right with Vanguard and the Rothschilds family. If you guys have heard anything about them, how wealthy they are, like it's all the same little clique right there at the top. But BlackRock came into their high school at Bethel Park High School, where the shooter went to school at, I guess, and they shot an ad. And it just so happened that they used real teachers and real students, and he was in it, supposedly. And the worst part about it, I think, is that the way they justified it, they deleted it, first of all, after this guy came up as the guy who shot at Trump and got killed.
So they deleted
the ad off everything they could.
That's nuts.
But on top of that, the way that they went about basically justifying themselves is like, well, we just went to their high school and shot the ad. We can't help that this kid was in it. We didn't even pay these guys. They wasn't paid actors, which by itself to me, that sounds like a crime, dude. These people's net worth is $125 billion, dude. Like, you didn't even pay, like, you couldn't hand the students $50 and the teachers $100. That'd have made their day. You justify it by saying, no, we made them just record for free.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say, I
pretty
wonder if
necessary.
somewhere in there, like, if they were told about it, because, like, I would have sued. I would have been like, yeah, you're paying me, or I'm not gonna be in this.
Definitely, like,
Which also in school, I mean, like, you know how we were all in school, like, we don't want to be in class, so it's like either I get to leave class or I get paid, so it's a win-win.
yeah. So what are we doing here, dude? Now, like, let me know. But nah, I mean, I thought that was wild that he was in a BlackRock commercial. Now it gets a little bit crazier because a BlackRock linked firm, Austin Private Wealth, is the name of the investment firm, but they've been linked to having accounts open with BlackRock, right? So there's a connection, they're linked, but they shorted 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology stock through a put option the day before the assassination. Now, real quick, I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm not a stock guy. I had to read about it a little bit. I am a gambling guy. So what I understand from this is put options are basically gambling for those that know the stock market or do insider trading, which is actually illegal, so they probably shouldn't do that. But, I mean, a put option is when you think a company's stock's going to go down, so you buy a put option on them, and then if their stock drops down, and depending on how fast or how drastically it drops down, you will make money from it. Now, if Trump would have died, they did it the day before the assassination, right? So if Trump would have died that next day, his stocks themselves would have plummeted. And the put options, since his stock plummeted, would have increased dramatically, super quickly. It's Trump's dead. So now his companies and his investments are not worth as much as they would be with him living. They're going to start declining. Now, on top of that, $36 million in put options was bought on Rumble, apparently another stock that has direct link to Donald Trump, Donald Trump's assets, and his well-being, basically. They bought $36 million worth of this the day before the attempt. So, I mean, it gets really weird with the BlackRock situation. Now, they came out, justified the $12 million shares that they shorted as a mistake, and they fixed it immediately. But the fact that they went and bought $36 million shares of another stock and put options that would raise dramatically if Trump was to die,
It's a little sus.
just so happened the day before, is very, very weird. Now, I don't know what side that would lean on, left, right, as far as BlackRock goes. I really don't know. I'm not too sure on that one. But besides that, the other couple things that are weird about this whole story is his parents reported him missing just a few hours before the shooting took place.
So, like, he's been gone for a while?
Well, that's what I was trying to look up.
Because isn't, like, don't you gotta have, like, a 48 hours?
I think it's like a.
I don't want to say 48-hour hold because it's like not a hold, but
It doesn't say they went looking for him or anything. It just says that they reported him missing. Now, the cops could have been like, yo, it's been 2 hours, chill out. Hung up.
Right.
Yeah, they
Which
could
is
have
okay.
told them it's not a
like
big
2
deal.
days before you can report.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody
it might have been just one of those situations where they turned him away. I'm not sure. However, I read that they reported him missing before, which I got in my notes. Like, what made them report a 20-year-old man missing in the middle of the day on a Saturday? Because, like, you couldn't get a hold of him for a couple hours. Okay, but what makes you think he's missing already?
I wonder.
And then I learned that the gun was registered to his dad. So if they noticed that the gun was missing, that's one thing. Okay, maybe that's what it was.
Why would you report him missing then? Like, your gun's gone, the kid's gone. Clearly, the kid's got the gun, so report that he has a gun.
Well,
I get it's your kid, you don't want to get him in trouble, but he's going to get in much more trouble, just like what happened.
Plot twist, he already knew what's happening.
Your kid's gonna get in a lot of trouble. Attempts to shoot Trump.
No kid. So I mean, that part of the story was weird at first. Kind of lines up maybe, but also it's just like you said. Why are you not telling the cops?
Right? Like, why are you saying that he's missing?
A missing gun of yours. Your missing kid has a missing gun. Possibly, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But so you got that problem, right? And then it was reported he was reported a person of interest an hour before Trump took the stage. Somebody, one of the officers or whatever, seen him in the crowd with a rangefinder. Also, Kimberly Cheadle, head of Secret Service, does not think a rangefinder is suspicious or a problem
As you found this out yesterday.
at all in
That's insane.
a event where the president is going to be talking. To me, is very, very weird.
That's pretty insane.
I mean, what was she thinking? Like, oh, he's trying to figure out how far you can see Trump?
The only thing I think
This is interesting.
is she's so underqualified that she may not even have known what a rangefinder was. Possibly. I don't know. But, like, the fact that she thought the rangefinder was okay in there and not suspicious at all is just so weird. She said a backpack wasn't suspicious, which, like, nowadays, A, kind of, if it was not checked. B, okay, yeah, not the most suspicious thing. Sure, that's cool. Let it ride. But a rangefinder, there is no purpose for in that kind of a setting. Then, 20 minutes after that was reported, he was seen by a SWAT team looking at a roof nearby, the roof that he later climbs with his gun and the ladder that he had previously set up, apparently. But there's literal videos. If any of y'all looked
No, I've
at
seen
it yet,
I've seen a lot of them.
people
Yeah,
out in the crowd with their own cell phones that was recording Trump and quickly flashed it aside.
yeah, and they're trying to like
where this kid's
yell at.
belly crawling on the roof
Yeah,
with the gun. And you got 35 people going, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. And the cops are like, yeah, what do I do? and like, I don't know exactly what happened in that situation. I only know as much as the camera angle showed, which wasn't as much as what the police was doing about it, as much as it was everybody in the crowd freaking out that Trump was about to get shot.
mm-hmm.
But police did a terrible job.
Oh, for sure.
Of handling that, however they did. On top of it, apparently, so I said the roof was 400 feet away. They notified him crawling 10 minutes before the shots went off. Which is why I said the cops was running around talking about, like, what am I doing? Because 10 minutes before shots even went off, they knew about this. And they still didn't have enough time to stop the man. Explain.
Yeah.
Explain.
Right.
But, you got that. You got the shot on top of the warehouse roof by the Secret Service counter sniper. It was that exact roof was designated as a vulnerability, the one that the sniper was on, that he shot the guy on, and the agent that killed him got fired.
Yep.
Yeah, like
because he was ordered not
To engage.
to engage and shoot guy. Also why. Also explain. Also Kimberly Cheadle did not explain yesterday.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
she
the
couldn't give
thunder.
anybody
That's some
any
thunder.
answers when she
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
at her hearing.
Yeah, everything that they asked to her was just
She kept giving it
Right
to like,
around.
oh, the FBI is investigating, the FBI is investigating. And then she switched it to CIA is investigating. So it's like, who's actually doing this?
Don't forget when
Yeah.
the person who was questioning her, she said, stop acting like Slim Shady and saying it wasn't me.
Oh
Yeah, that was.
Whoever just said that, I don't know your name, but
That's awful.
you gotta like make sure you know your music before you come out and try to
That's
say some lyrics.
terrible.
I would say, hey, like, yeah, you could definitely. Hey, you want to be clever? Throw some stuff in there. Cool, you do it. You're a high hitter right now. You get it, girl. But you messed up.
Not
Actually,
Slim Shady. It
I'm gonna go back to
wasn't.
Cheeto,
be,
though.
like, cool about
I want
it.
to go back to Cheeto because wasn't it said that she was going to this hearing and she's not going to resign, and then like right after the hearing, basically not giving anybody answers that they wanted, so she was going to get fired regardless. But she resigned right after the hearing. So you go from saying I'm not going to resign, and then you resign.
Yeah.
So what? So clearly you are hiding something.
They
I mean,
was
yeah,
gonna kill
but
her
she
too.
knew that the grilling
Secret
wasn't going to
Service
stop.
isn't supposed to be political or anything, but it seems like it was.
Did you see
Yeah.
the Secret Service agents scrambling in the video of that? Like one
Oh
of them,
yeah,
like their glasses fell off, so
Yeah.
they were like screaming.
I was like, oh no.
They put 'em on and she straightened up real
Trump in
quick.
the vehicle, hurry up, get her glasses back on. Nobody's allowed to see my eyes.
That's what being a service agent's about.
Hey, like,
Looking the part.
hey, that's how I felt like the past few weeks at work though. With balls
With the
running
safety
around, like, oh
glasses.
my god, my safety glasses gotta be on.
I better
You know,
put 'em on and
just walking
straighten
around.
up.
I'm gonna get a dust particle in my eye. Oh no. Just like the dumbest stuff. But yeah, no. A lot of people was actually saying that the Secret Service agents that was there did not look qualified to defend Trump. As they was walking into the vehicle, they looked very uncoordinated. A lot of open shots on them. Just bad.
Yeah.
And then after the whole event, they went, searched his car. They found a drone that he apparently used to case out the place before.
Rose prep.
I guess he didn't get called doing that. I don't know. But there's not one guy going, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And definitely not during the event while he's walking around with a rangefinder. Just not one guy. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? Not one guy. That's probably all it would have took, but just to scare him. I mean, it's
I'm
a
just-
20-year-old kid.
So
right?
all I'm trying to figure out also is how do you take the gun? Because I think they were mentioning during Cheadle's hearing when he was talking about the backpack, the rangefinder. They also mentioned a bike. So clearly, this man rode a bike.
He must have rode the bike from the car to the thing. I did not read anything about a bike, actually, though.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, but if they brought it up in court,
Yeah, because they was like,
fair
talking about when is the man dangerous with the gun, or when is it that
Oh,
he's dangerous
okay,
with
yeah,
a bike?
I do
And so they
remember
were talking about that. So my thing is with the bike, how does nobody see this man on a bike with a gun? That big of a gun for one point.
The thunder
And
is
it's just like-
crazy.
Why are you just carrying this around?
I don't think he was walking around with the gun. I think the only thing I can think the way this would have worked out for him is if he was to have thrown that gun around the same place he kept his ladder. Because nobody seen him carry the ladder over to get that up me. So,
Could have been planned. Yeah,
and he
planned it
probably
before.
did that at the same time he went with the drone.
Yeah.
So
Stays the place.
this is what I'm saying is like it's creating more suspicion because the Secret Service didn't do nothing after everybody's still yelling about it. The officers didn't do nothing when people were directly yelling at them about it. So that's why it's creating the suspicion like this man basically just walked in and was able to do just whatever he wants.
Well, see, my thing is like he let off. It was what 6?
I don't know the count.
5 shots. Okay, so he let off 5 shots, but when they went to go search his car, they found that drone. They found 2 different explosive devices. They found 4 full mags, a bulletproof vest.
Man
Oh
was
my
preparing.
But preparing for what? Because when it came down to the time for him to engage on his plan, he used none of that stuff. So
That aim.
for what?
bad aim.
Bad
If he
aim.
got him on the first shot, he would probably fought off the cops until he died or something.
But all of that was in his car. It wasn't on the
Oh, it
roof
was?
with him.
Yeah, he didn't take
it was
with
in his
him.
car.
Oh.
So it's like, he thought he was gonna get out alive from this, get back to his car to be able to do more damage, or what? Like, what was his plan behind all the other stuff in his car? Is the weird thing.
I wonder if he was planning beforehand, like maybe like making it like a mass shooting, or like a mass event, like not just take Trump out, like I don't know, kill on stage or kill people.
I mean, clearly he didn't care who he was taking out because when he fired off 5 rounds, somebody else died.
I'm
Bro,
saying,
bro
yeah,
couldn't aim
died
for
and
it.
2 injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did want
Rest
to
in
bring
peace.
that up
You didn't
before we got too far along. R.I.P. to Mr. Comparator, I believe is how you say that.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily know how to pronounce your name. I do know you supposedly a husband, father, voluntary firefighter. So big R.I.P. to you, my guy.
Rest in
Because
peace.
at the end of the day, when you're going to a presidential rally like that, you're not even. That's not even on your mind.
No.
You know, like or at least it shouldn't have to be on your mind.
No.
Going forward now, it might be on people's minds attending Trump meetings and stuff like that, but it shouldn't have to be. You know, which that's. But there's different ways to go about the theories on this. We got the theories that the right did it, and that it was a publicity stunt by Trump, and he used this guy to shoot him directly in the ear, and he meant for that to happen, and he came out perfectly fine with just a little scratch on his ear, and this was a home run hit to win the campaign. It's far-fetched, if you ask me. I don't know. I definitely don't know why he would go with a 20-year-old kid who apparently tried out for some type of long-range shooting team in his high school and did not get it. That's not somebody I'm going to put my trust in from 400 feet away. Sorry, buddy. Not happening. But it's also just one of those things where they think that since he was Republican and he was a deemed Republican on the signed voter sheet, that it had to have been some type of publicity stunt. They also think maybe it was a Republican who did not like Trump and wanted a different candidate to be able to run, just like Biden just stepped out of the race and Kamala Harris stepped up, even though Biden was leading naturally over all the other Democratic candidates because of him being the president. I was about to say, but now Kamala's #1 runner, I believe. I ain't actually looked into it, but that's what everybody online is saying. And then you got the other theory that the left did it because the Secret Service was headed by a lady who was hired by Biden back in 2022, Kimberly Cheatham. Talk about her a little bit. And they reported they had no radio communications or any type of communications from the day of the assassination, which is kind of weird. We've heard that before under her jurisdiction, basically, of text messages getting deleted overnight after being subpoenaed to push them into a court. Very weird. And then she just resigned on top of that. But then you hear that the Secret Service had ignored Trump's campaign to add more security to it, and a request to add more multiple times. Now, I will say they did not ask for any extra security on the day of this event where he was assassinated. However, in court, they brought up the point that, like, how many times did they ask you for more security, and how many times did you tell them no before they decided there's no point of asking them?
Wasn't there one time where they were actually trying to take away Trump's Secret Service? Where he
I
had
have no idea.
Cannot swear on that. I'm
going to say it's hearsay for me because I
Yeah.
don't remember where I've heard it or where I might have read this, but I feel like it's familiar, but
They
maybe
might have
not.
been trying to while he was going through all of his criminal cases with the felonies and stuff like that. They might have been trying to take away his Secret Service security if he got deemed guilty for all that stuff. I don't know, but I know that it has not been taken away, and it probably will not be taken away, especially after this. The Heritage Foundation is a foundation that is supported by the Trump campaign as well. So I don't know how credible this is, but they say that they supposedly got phone tracings from some police department, some federal association, whatever, showing that there was the shooter's phone was going from his home to his work to his home to an FBI office or somewhere near an FBI office, and it pinged that several times. So that's weird if it's true. Like I said, it's from a foundation that Trump literally his campaign supports. So,
Like he funds it or something.
Yeah, I mean that could be like, hey, how's 5K sound for a donation?
Exaggerate
some fake
this.
stuff for me. You never know with that kind of stuff when it's just biased information.
Turn me to a martyr.
But yeah, no kidding. But I mean, I figured I'd throw that in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump on to some other theories now. The Iran theory.
Huh.
Well, a lot of people ain't ever not. They ain't read about this or ain't necessarily heard about this because everybody's talking about the left did it, the right did it, she did it, he did it, whatever. And the recent threat from Iran that he just got a couple weeks ago was to kill Trump again.
Hold on, wait. When you said that the recent threat that he got, you mean the shooter?
No, Trump.
Oh, okay. I was
So,
gonna say,
okay. Back when Trump was in office, he killed one of the prime ministers, I think it was, of Iran. Okay, I got the name here. We're gonna butcher it, but Qasem Salami, basically.
Oh no.
Not salami.
Oh no.
Iran's gonna be after us. I don't know what to tell you, boys. I'm pretty sure they do say.
Not salami.
Dude, he butchered the name last episode. What was it?
Seaman.
He wasn't supposed to bring that one back up. That one was a little hard.
Semen, salami.
Boy,
Yeah.
you gotta say off the S's.
I gotta stay off foreign names. I know exactly how substitute teachers feel, and I should.
Shout out to Key and Phil. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron. No, but yeah. So back when he was president, they killed Prime Minister of Iran, one of them, or whatever he was in Iran. And so one of the other ones in Iran, or the one that took over, said that he's going to kill Trump in retaliation of this killing. That was back when he was still president. However, just a couple weeks before the attempted assassination, he was threatened again by Iran, supposedly. FBI was aware of this. And I was actually, don't ask me how I got there. I don't know. Google will take you places, but I was on FBI.gov. And the U.S. actually has on their top 10 most wanted list right now. The Iranian intelligence officer after he was allegedly reporting or recruiting people to get revenge for the killing on Qasim Salami. Because Sully, I'm gonna get this.
It's okay, we'll just call him
Soleimani, I
Salami
believe
for
is
now.
how you actually say it.
That actually
Sully.
sounds pretty right. So,
Salami sounds better though, since he's
Next time,
not
just use
Iranian.
Google Translate.
right, just put your phone right up to your mic.
That's great.
Dude, what would be hilarious is if it said exactly what he said.
Salami.
I
Like,
apologize.
Was not wrong.
No, I would apologize.
And then, yeah. So other than that, the only other theory that I've came up with by myself is that ABC and Hulu conspired to do it because they was just a little too fast to make a show about it.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They
That's
was
insane.
Quick, bro. I was like searching stuff about the assassination 3 days maybe after it happened, and all of a sudden I got a Hulu ad showing Trump assassination attempt. Watch now, minute by minute. Like,
Did
I'm
you
like,
see?
dude, what?
Did you see the Joe Biden one stepping down? It was literally a day after they came out with it. Hulu.
That's crazy.
Okay, see, my theory might not be as crazy and as far fetched as I even thought. Hulu and ABC's over here writing their scripts and then forcing it to happen.
How much power do you think Hulu
Politician
has?
is scripted, just like the NFL.
I don't know. Can we see quickly how much net worth Hulu's got? Let's look that up.
Like Hulu's got to be.
Net worth.
Hulu's got to have money.
Yeah, considering they took $18 out of my account already.
Their net worth in 2022 was $16 billion. So now I can only imagine what it is. Well,
Imagine how much of that is $18 a month from Brady.
Right.
that's tough.
That's nuts.
Hey, let's go T-Mobile. They pay for mine.
Other than that, the only other
We're not
running
sponsored by
theory
T-Mobile.
until yesterday was that they attempted to kill Trump just so they could get Biden out of the limelight for a little bit so that they could actually kill him and Kamala take over and run the presidency from there and get reelected. However, as of yesterday, that's confirmed not true because he arrived back at the White House. Apparently he had COVID again. That's still a thing.
That's still a thing. Yeah, he's alive.
I reject it. I rebuke it. Not allow it in my
Nah,
body.
bro's a robot. We all know it.
He might.
That's why he's glitching out all
Everybody
the
was
time.
asking if he was
He's got
if he
dementia.
was back from plastic surgery or if he had a lot of makeup on in the photos of him returning because he did look young or younger.
Huh?
I was going to say, you don't look young at all.
Let me just put
So he
that
look
on
young. He looked good.
Not young. Not like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Young.
Yeah, no, you got it.
But
You got it.
no, I always butcher it actually. I'm not gonna even try.
Oh, man.
But that's all I got on that. So if you guys have thoughts or maybe your own theories on it, go ahead, give them to me. If not, we can move
I don't
on.
really have a theory on that.
I don't really.
I basically
I don't
explained
think,
mine
theory.
while we were talking. So
A lot of people think that the crowd was involved, but I see how hard that's to believe, though.
there is a recording of just this girl in the background.
I know
I
who
see.
you're talking
So
about.
that's the only
The girl
one
from
I
the
could,
CIA?
suggest.
The girl from the CIA?
That's the
Nah.
only- Is she?
Yes.
Oh.
The dude, there's this dude standing behind Trump while he's talking, while the shots are going off. And the only way I know how to explain him is like SpongeBob's grandma.
Bro, what?
You know what she looks like?
Yeah.
Cookie
I mean,
looking
yeah.
one.
SpongeBob's grandma and grandpa mixed together in a costume. It was a dude. But this guy just looked so disguised, it was unreal. He had on like some weird fedora. He had super curly hair. He had on glasses. just the entire outfit was ridiculous.
I'm not saying everyone wasn't a part of it, but I feel like everyone wasn't a part of it. It's like a few people might have been.
Yeah, I don't think
but-
everyone was a part of it. There might have been one or two other people in the crowd that they just didn't get, but they're never going to get them because they're literally already washing their hands of the case saying they got the guy since they shot the one shooting.
Yeah.
But if it was an Iranian attempt and this guy was actually recruited by some other people, other than the left or the right, or did it on his own free will for whatever reason, we'll never know until it
The
happens
world
again.
may never know.
We'll never know till it happens
How many
again.
licks does it take to
That's a crazy statement.
Unless they upgrade Secret Service.
Yeah.
Facts.
Has somebody taken over that right now, by the way?
I don't know.
I haven't
Because
heard
if
anything
not,
about
I
it.
feel like this would be the worst time for. Like, this would be the time everybody would be booming at the chance if they just didn't have a director.
I'm sure like there's a temp who was probably underneath her, so I'm sure there's somebody.
Yeah, there's got to be a stand-in for now.
So.
Scott.
Gotta
But
be.
all right, I
Biden.
think
All
I'm
right,
gonna-
I'll go next.
It's Biden falling asleep.
You said what?
I'll go next. Mine's
Sleep
kind of
right,
short.
it's Biden.
All right, take the stage, Brady.
Well, did you guys have any theories on?
Oh,
this
like I told
or
him, I
anything?
told mine basically while we were all talking.
I didn't have any theories about it, no.
Here. Anyways, like I said, this isn't. I'm going to start with that. This may be a touchy subject to some people. And I'm going to talk about suicide and stuff. So if you want to skip over, skip over. Anyways, you guys know who Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington is, right?
Chris is my favorite vocalist of all time.
Well, Chris Cornell killed himself a few years ago, right?
It was in 2017.
2017.
And if you guys don't know, Chris Cornell is he was the lead singer of the band Soundgarden and Audioslave. And Chester Bennington was the you would consider him like a lead vocalist of Linkin Park, right?
Yeah, it's just
I know Mike. I don't know his last name.
Mike
I know
Shinoda.
he does the-
In the end.
No, he doesn't do that part. He's the one that
That-
raps.
Mike
Chester's-
Shinoda is the one who
Chester's-
raps.
You got some bars.
Yeah.
But yeah, theory is that Chris Cornell had a black book, and according to some sources, it's that Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, and even Davici. I don't know how true that is, but they were gonna expose the music, like kid trafficking, and have a what's it called?
Documentary.
Documentary. Yes, but they said it was false, that they were never involved into a documentary. I mean, I found that hard to believe because Chris Cornell didn't kill himself. He was found like beat up, ribs broken, blood with coming down his lip, and like some slash in his skull or something. And he was found with a exercise rubber band around his neck.
And they ruled it as
And I was going to say,
suicide.
Yes.
are they ruling it as
They-
suicide because of the thing around his neck?
They ruled.
That's
ruled
crazy,
it as
bro.
suicide.
And
But that doesn't make sense.
No,
right?
it don't.
it
Like,
doesn't make sense. And I don't know if you knew this, but that was like maybe like 2-3 hours after he did a show. They performed in Detroit, and then he went to his hotel room, and Vicky, his wife, she said that she missed like a bunch of calls from him, and I think she said that she actually like she ended up like answering one, or she was calling back. I can't remember. And he didn't sound too good. Like he sounded like he was slurring his words a lot. And he sounded like almost drunk. And she ended up blaming it on at the time, like when he died, she blamed it on his medicine. His,
It was medicine, so like drugs.
yeah, she said that he had just got on new think it was new anxiety medicine or it was new blood pressure medicine, but they knew that he wasn't going to take it well or something along those lines, or he shouldn't have been mixing it with something, and she was like, they killed him. That's what she said. But they did find him in his hotel room with exercise bands wrapped around his neck and then wrapped around the doorknob of the bathroom door. And I think he was like almost like, because I mean it's the bathroom door.
So you're hold on. So you're saying that the rubber bands was wrapped around his neck.
Yeah.
Then wrapped around a door.
Yes, but not the door itself, like the doorknob.
There's no way.
So he's not standing.
Literally
He's not. Yeah, he's not standing.
Like
he's not like
body cannot physically. You cannot. I feel like you cannot let your body like physically like. You can't pull yourself like that.
I mean, just imagine if I'm sitting right here and the doorknob is like right here, so then I decide to choke myself, and like he'd have to like somehow tighten it up to get it on that doorknob and then just hang like that, which I don't think.
But I don't feel like that's one heavy doorknob. That's a heavy duty doorknob.
Yeah,
because there's just no way.
Exercise rope, like stretching. Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to realistically choke yourself and kill yourself because you're going to pass out before you're able to do it.
Well, with what Brady was saying is like they stretch. They're exercising.
Yeah.
They'll stretch. So you literally have to have some force to be pulling.
Yeah.
So there's just
there's no way that you yourself could give yourself enough force to choke yourself.
I'm not believing that suicide at all.
The only way that would even be like halfway plausible is like you said, you get it wrapped around your neck, you wrap it around the door, and then just like happen so you can wiggle down enough
to let
that
it.
There's pressure on your neck until you pass out, and then your own body weight's gonna keep strangling you from there. But like even then, with all the bruises, the abrasions,
cracked ribs, broken ribs,
that makes no sense. Like
I can see you spitting up. I can see you spitting up blood if you're doing it that way, and you're letting it just.
I feel like you gotta have some internal bleeding.
Yeah, it's gotta be something that smashes you.
That's like you guys said, that's a strong doorknob.
That's a strong doorknob.
Well, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, so if you're trying to like choke yourself, like, wouldn't your body like just start, shaking and all that too?
Yeah.
You start moving around.
Probably not after you pass out.
It's not.
But like at the beginning,
you'll start palpitating and jerking and stuff after your body's been deprived of oxygen after so long.
So that's why you're not able to do it yourself.
That's what I'm saying is like I just don't think there's any way that rubber band or exercise bands could do that.
No.
Yeah. No.
Without somebody being behind this man and literally like pulling.
So I feel like whoever was in the music industry found out that Chris Cornell had his hands on the Black Book, exposing like all like music industry people were involved in with like the kids sex trafficking, and I feel like he got interrogated. Then they probably tried to set it up, make it look like a suicide, but that didn't. How's that gonna look like a suicide when he has broken ribs?
Now, whoever they sent to do that was not thinking at all because, like you said, bruised ribs. What'd you say, fractured skull or cracked skull?
Something with his skull.
And then he was spitting up blood. Yeah, there's just no way. You gotta have.
He could have told Chester Bennington about it, but there's evidence that Chester actually killed himself, but you can also stage the evidence. So maybe Chester was freaking out about it because he probably knew that Chris Cornell didn't kill himself, and he thought he was next, and he probably couldn't take it.
He also, Chester killed himself on Chris's birthday.
Yeah.
So Chris died in May. Chester died the same year, right? 2017.
Yes.
So
he died on the 20th of this month.
Okay, so Chris died in May, and then in July, on July 20th, on Chris's birthday, that's when Chester killed himself.
Like maybe he couldn't handle the death of his best friend.
Yeah.
It could have been staged. That made it look like a suicide. because he was found wrapped, like hung up with his belt or something.
But they couldn't find anything else on him.
No,
No
just
foul
Corona and some medicine.
Corona.
Man, no good beer.
Yeah, Corona.
But
Unless
you guys
get
know,
coronavirus.
like,
It's Corona time.
The Sound
That
of
wasn't
Freedom,
the
the
right
movie
time.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
No, they were trying to shut that shit down.
Nah,
What?
I
They
didn't
were
know.
trying to stop showing that.
Really?
For what?
Exposing sex trafficking for kids.
Wow.
Who was trying to stop?
Not the music, but the Hollywood.
What?
They were trying to do everything in its will, trying to stop showing that movie in theaters.
And that's why it's a huge theory that
Matter
they
of
both
fact,
got
yeah, I
killed.
did hear
That's why
about
I
that
came-
right
right.
after it came out.
Mhm.
But
Because they were working, Chris and Chester and like a few others, they were working on trying to get a documentary that was gonna
Is
like,
that- it's
bring
called,
everything to light.
What was it called? Silence of the no. Silence something.
Yeah, I don't remember. But it's definitely sad.
It's on my notes on my phone, but
That's sad for me because Chris is my favorite vocalist of all time. I grew up listening to
Black Holes.
Black Holes, son. I grew up listening to that music, and I remember the day that Chris died. My mom came and woke me up at like 7 in the morning, and she was on the phone with her friend, and she said, "Nick," she said, "Chris Cornell just got ruled like he's ruled dead," and I was like, "Nah," and I just remember I cried. 'Cause,
That's how it was about Chester.
yeah, I miss him a lot.
I miss Chester a lot too. But if you're dealing with like depression or anything, please go get help. No one wants to see her dead.
Call somebody or text somebody. Somebody cares. If you want, I can go into
Go ahead.
what I had. Okay. 'Cause
That's all I own.
I wrote down notes.
Nick came prepared this time.
I did. Last time I didn't, and I came up with the idea last time.
Is that a post-it note in your note?
Yeah, that's a post-it note. And look, this bad boy's kind of big. Look how big this post-it note is. It's a big post-it note, ain't it?
yeah, where do you buy jumbo? Post-its?
My girlfriend would know. I know.
Staples.
Probably so.
Probably, or like Office Depot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Home Depot. So before I get into, I was going to talk about how, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows Martin Luther King Jr. and hopefully everybody knows about the Beatles, and they thus know about John Lennon.
Yep.
Those are two public figures that were assassinated. But before I talk about anything regarding them, I found out that Trump actually is joined by President Ronald Reagan and President Teddy Roosevelt in surviving an assassination attempt.
Well, on
I don't know if
Ronald
anybody
Reagan's
else.
one, I heard it was just a balloon pop. I wasn't actually shot.
Is that who was that?
When he said you missed me.
Yeah. Dude.
No, Ronald Reagan actually did get shot. I read that he got shot himself.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear about that. A balloon pop?
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
you missed me.
Yeah, there was a
You missed me.
I can't remember
Yeah,
off the
that
top
was
of
the
my
most
head.
savage clip I've definitely ever seen
I
from a
could-
president.
That's
Is it the
pretty
same
crazy.
president?
Ronald Reagan.
Okay, so yeah,
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was like, man, look at that.
Miss
man.
me.
Look
Miss
at the
me.
kahunas on this guy. Hey, man.
I don't have the details really about their assassination attempts, other than that Ronald Reagan's was an attempt in 1981 from a man named John Hickley Jr. He was injured and he was shot while he was walking to his limo. But obviously, as we know, Ronald survived. And the other one, Teddy Roosevelt, he was shot and injured in 1912 by, I'm gonna butcher his last name, but it's another John.
Justin's over there, like, let's go.
John Young.
John Young. John. It's
He's
not.
already
It's not a
seen
foreign
his
name.
video
So Schrank. Schrank sounds better. Yeah, I'm not.
What did you say?
John Skank.
John Skank.
John
Love
Skank. So I have a note in here that I need to pull up this picture because I screenshotted a quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and this is.
Nick's about to become like a motivationalist.
I just want you to know this is absolutely insane to read. So Teddy Roosevelt, This is just a little screenshot I have from a really good source, Wikipedia. So this is an actual quote.
He went on the wiki.
I went on the wiki.
Tell them it's wiki.org.
Wiki.org. As an experienced hunter, Roosevelt correctly concluded that since he was not coughing blood, the bullet had not reached into his lungs. He declined suggestions to go to the hospital immediately. Instead, he delivered a scheduled speech. His opening comments to the gathering crowd were, "Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. I don't know whether you fully understand that I have just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose." And I had to screenshot that because that's hard as hell.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, Teddy was a gangster.
Yeah,
That's why they put him in at night at the museum.
that's exactly right. Afterwards, probes and x-rays showed that the bullet had lodged into his chest muscle, but did not penetrate the pleura? The pleura.
Weak ass gun.
Since doctors concluded it would be less dangerous to leave it in place than to attempt to remove it, he carried the bullet with him for the rest of his life.
That's insane.
Never removed
Boy,
it.
talk about a
Grows
souvenir.
hard.
That man looked
is
down and said,
insane.
"You're coming with me now."
That is insane.
That's
You're
good.
coming with me.
Yeah. Imagine trying to like shoot him and you succeed, but like it did nothing.
Man's literally the
At
definition
what
of he took a
cost?
bullet.
He just had Juggernog on. That's it.
It was,
They're over here telling him they got to get it out for forensic evidence. He's like, "Nah,
Hang on,
it's dead."
sir. We need to take you to the hospital. Like, hang on. I have something cool to say.
Yeah, he said, "Dude,
Right.
I got some shit to say."
Yeah,
Like,
let me
"Nah."
shine. Yeah. So I didn't even mean to look that up.
so you just found yourself somewhere else too.
I just found it. Yeah, I just found myself down a rabbit hole. But I wanted to talk about first. I'll talk about MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. Fun fact, I didn't know. What's up?
I was gonna say before you start, hands down, I am like a firm believer
Your
that if
hands
he,
are up.
Okay.
Yeah, you put your hands up.
There we go.
But
Hands down.
I'm a firm believer that if he was not assassinated, if MLK was not assassinated, he would have became a president. I'm a firm believer of that.
That he would
I
have
think
become
he
a
would have
president.
became a president.
He probably would have. He had a lot of influence. Before he died, he was trying to help out with like the Vietnam War and stuff like that. I think.
Presidency
I think-
was not his dream, brother.
He's not wrong.
I still think he would have ran.
You probably get maybe.
If he ran, he probably would have had a good chance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have voted.
I would have voted too. Yeah, if I was alive.
When
Yeah.
30.
I didn't know that he was born.
Years
His name was
before.
Michael. I didn't know that. His name was Michael King. Michael King Jr.
This man's name wasn't even Martin.
Nope.
So you're telling me history is a lie?
Yes, we've been
I
lied to
mean,
our
Where'd
entire
Martin come
lives.
from?
does that surprise you?
My teachers never told me his name was Michael.
There's literally a Martin Luther King Street.
Well, his name's not Martin. It's Michael King. Born Michael King.
Said it's Martin.
I think his dad was named Martin, but I don't know if he was. I don't know if his dad was also Michael. I don't know.
Michael Martin. Martin Michael.
Michael Martin King.
Maybe that's what it is.
That could have been it. Like Michael
Martin
Martin King. Jr.
Michael Martin Luther King, get your butt in here now! Dude, imagine trying to say that every time.
Dude,
boy.
that's no.
Well, I mean, he's probably a fairly decent kid, actually. He probably didn't get in trouble too much.
He seems like he'd be a really good kid.
So he was an alright, or he was a good adult, so.
He was an alright
adult.
guy.
I don't know.
He was about to really say he was an alright guy. He was a
But yeah, that's
good
crazy.
guy.
I didn't know that his name was Michael. At
I
all.
never knew that. Yeah, so that's the first interesting
The
thing.
more you know.
But Martin Luther King Jr. He died April 4th, 1968.
Dang, a day before my birthday.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
insane.
Pretty sure April 4th is also the day that Kurt Cobain himself.
No, he
He
didn't.
He
You're
did.
right.
No, he
did not.
didn't.
No, he did not. I wanted to talk about that too, but I ain't gonna lie.
Now we'll have
We-
another
we can.
assassination episode.
Yeah, we can have
fit
another
what you
one.
want into this one.
So-
there.
Fun fact: so the FBI considered him a threat. They considered him. They thought that he was a radical, and they investigated him for communist ties, and they spied on his personal life. They recorded him secretly, and
I mean, baffled every time you talk.
I had his name written down, but I don't have it written down anymore.
So you had it written down.
I had it written down. I did a new note because I messed up on my writing, and I decided I'm not writing anything down that I wrote down.
All right,
So
dude,
I didn't write
what
down
the
that guy's
flip?
name. But it was an FBI investigator, and he put him on the Co-Intel Pro list, which is basically a list where the FBI is going to illegally investigate your ass. They're going to, at any means.
What? Hold on.
It was a big thing that was going on back.
You
in
said
the 50s.
illegally?
Yeah.
So like they know they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're above the law.
Yeah, they're the FBI. So. The FBI also, which I have another picture for this, so let me pull that up.
They don't give a dumb div.
As he's doing that, I just want to say it's real crazy how the FBI is involved in a lot of stuff.
It is.
In my notes, I also had something about the FBI.
That's crazy.
So that's really crazy that the FBI is just involved in a lot
Man,
of stuff.
it would have been
They
nuts
don't
if
give
when I was
a
looking up
dug
John
dim a
Lennon.
damn.
A dug dim a damn. It would have been nuts if when I was looking up John Lennon, if I saw FBI mentioned, I would have been like, "Hang on, they said we don't like the Beatles."
Hold on.
So the FBI also had sent a letter to MLK that Martin Luther King he took as a threat to attempt to get him to commit suicide.
Michael
King. So I wrote in my notes, by the way, sent letter that MLK took as threat for him to commit sewer slide. That's what I wrote. Commit the sewer slide.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna read this entire thing, but I have a picture that is of the letter that the FBI actually sent, and it was published in the New York Times in 2014. The last sentence of it says, "King, there is only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You have just 34 days in which to do this. This exact number has been selected for a specific reason. It is the definite practical significance. You are done. There is but one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation." Yeah. So
That's wild.
Yeah, no kidding.
that is a threat if I've ever heard one. You know what to do. You know what to do.
And there's only one way out. Like what?
That in history class.
Yep.
No kidding. I'm learning more today than I did in history.
Yeah. So he was killed in Memphis, Tennessee at the Lorraine Hotel. He was there because he was supporting black workers. They were going on strike, and he was just literally there to just support them. That was it.
Does the Lorraine Hotel still stand today?
It's not a hotel anymore. It's it's like a monument for it's. I don't know what you would call it, but it's basically up there for like you can go tour and then like learn about the history that happened there.
So kind of like a little museum.
Yeah.
I was trying to go like stay in one of the rooms that Martin Luther King stayed in.
I know, that'd
Spirit
be-
box and been like, Brody, are you here? Talk to me.
Brody, are you here?
You're watching too much Ghost Adventures.
Nah, bro, I really need to get some equipment. That'd be so fun until I get scared.
I would
agree.
love to do that. Oh, that.
Maybe we should do that for one of our little videos.
Man, I saw on someone's Snapchat, on my Snapchat, that they were like underground in like the water tunnel, water sewer things underneath Indianapolis.
That's just nasty. I ain't doing that.
No,
one.
not only is it nasty, it's crazy.
You're talking
and
about
scary.
Hold on. You're talking about
Hold on, before we got too deep in that, let's go back to MLK.
Did you know you could die in those things? You can die in those water tunnels.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
on
something.
flooding days.
Yeah, it could just take like a day like today where it rains and they decide to like I don't know like release all the water. You're dead. You're done. So
That's why you stay out of there.
that's why you don't go. Yeah, I'm not going. But yeah, he was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. So he actually his flight to Tennessee before he got there was delayed due to a bomb threat, and he referenced this in his speech that he gave just one day before he actually died, which was in his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech. He referenced that there could be like mindless petty threats that face him, and there could be squabbles that face him in like Tennessee and other places, but that won't stop him because he's been to the mountaintop. So pretty crazy that this happened the day all before he died. I almost burped into the mic. I'm sorry. I have a dream written and circled.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
He said, "Don't know where I was going."
I don't know where I was going.
He was he was in the zone, and then once he got out of the zone, he was like,
I have a dream.
what did I write that for? Hold on, like that's important now.
You all know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. He gave the "I Have a Dream" speech. I'm
Yes.
assuming that's why I wrote it.
Yep.
I thought you was gonna come up with your own.
No, I can't do that. But he was shot while he was standing on his balcony. The bullet that hit him. It's a little graphic, but the bullet.
Why are we laughing?
I'm sorry.
I mean, during serious times,
Nervous laughs,
I'm gonna
guys.
say,
Nervous
like,
laughs.
Yeah, no, yeah, this is serious. So the bullet that hit him was a straight Sniper Elite 5 shot. It hit him through the cheek. All right, so it went through his cheek, smashed his jaw, traveled down through his spinal cord, thus lodging into his shoulder. That's all that happened from one bullet.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How did it take a downward?
That's what I was confused.
How did
Like,
it take a downward
This-
approach from his balcony?
The
Bullet
A
drop.
roof? A higher roof?
oh
drop?
yes, yeah. I think it
Well,
was a room.
I think
across.
what you're talking about the bullet, right?
Yeah, no, I'm
how to
talking
take a
about-
downward approach.
Yeah, how would the bullet?
Like, how did it go through his cheek and then all of a sudden just go down?
Well, no, he said his shoulder, so it just had to go like
Oh, okay.
butt.
like it could have
So,
went
yeah,
like
okay,
right
that's
through
what-
his.
How did it come from an angle?
Okay, yeah, it could have like went like right through his cheek, and then like going down, like it lodges into his spinal cord. And,
Unless
Yeah.
it was like
lodged into-
somebody Great Khali side.
It could have been, yeah.
Also, I mean, on a balcony, I guess that ain't plausible. You gotta be on a rooftop or some height.
He was on his sharpshooter shit. He was shot by a guy named James Earl Ray. After James Earl Ray committed the assassination, he fled the USA, but he got caught in the UK. He was convicted in 1969, so a year later, and he was sentenced to 99 years in prison.
So life in
How did he
prison.
I'm about
catch
to say, that's
people
definitely
in a
life.
whole nother country?
That's, yeah. That's
Probably
pretty-
just
Like,
But-
they really be over there looking for Americans?
Probably.
yeah.
We're not, like, typically we aren't over there.
Typically, we
We're
weren't
here.
over there.
I don't know, like, I mean, maybe when we're touring, but, like, why are they over
Well,
there?
maybe
keeping
when
us
you,
on a
you
watch
know,
list?
well, I mean, come on.
Unless you're some super, super big, like, oh, we don't want him here.
We don't want him
Well, it's
here.
not
We need to
that,
find
like,
him.
I mean, he took out one of the most important people,
Yeah,
and so of course you're not going to stay in the States.
yeah.
You
So I don't know
You're
how
gonna
it's
put
true.
But how'd he get on a plane to go to Europe?
because it was probably like not known at the same time because he probably had that all booked in one day.
It's true.
He
Probably.
was like, "I'm going to do this," and then I got to,
Yeah, because he
I
rented.
got to flee the scene.
What I
Yeah,
see
that's
is he
right.
rented a room in a rooming house that was just across the street.
That's
And the way that he got the shot is he went into the bathroom. He locked himself into the bathroom, stood in the bathtub, and then fired through the window at MLK on his balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have written here, because he shot him with a Remington white rifle, but I have it written as one tapped with Remington. So,
You're just putting it more modernized.
yeah,
Pretty
he
much.
one tapped him. It was pretty nuts. After he killed him, he was also seen running from the rooming house. Close by was a package found that had the rifle that he shot him with and a pair of binoculars. They both had his fingerprints. So
Bro,
he-
what? Why would you?
So
This
he's
man's a terrible criminal.
not smart at all.
He literally
Not
was like,
smart.
"Here, catch me."
This man was
Yeah,
asking to get fouled.
Catch me.
I mean, thank God he got found, but like,
The
He said,
family.
who did it? T. Come on, dude.
Whoops! Uh-oh.
So I don't know how true this is, but I do remember hearing that somehow he survived that shot, and he was in the hospital and got suffocated.
Yeah, he died in the hospital. Like an hour later. Like I think he got taken to the hospital and then he was pronounced dead an hour later.
See, like I said, I'm learning more every day.
That could
There's
be
like
due to some blood loss, some type of deal like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know how
about
true
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
that is.
I was going to
but
say
some
because I've
people
never
say it was
heard
a
about the whole
doctor.
hospital story.
Or
Yeah.
I thought he was dead right then and there.
Nah.
I was saying, I mean, especially back then, depending on like if they took him to a hospital that had
Yeah.
white doctors and he got a racist
Yeah.
doctor that didn't even want to operate on him, did some messed up stuff.
Probably.
That's a huge possibility.
I heard they used a pillow.
They
They
could
didn't even bother trying to save him.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah,
But I don't know how true that
I can see it different times.
That's just a theory.
Yeah. The family does not think that James Earl Ray was the killer. The family thinks that MLK was actually killed by a Lieutenant Memphis Op. That's what I have wrote down. But a Memphis, Tennessee officer, Lieutenant Earl Clark.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Why do you run off for then?
Yeah, exactly.
Why
is there like
this
stuff
guy
left
did it?
behind?
I don't have it written in my notes, but I do remember when I was reading everything about it that he went through a trial where they were basically going to convict him of not being guilty, like being coerced into shooting MLK, but then they could not find like evidence to like back it up. And they were like, this guy did it. So, yeah, I learned a lot about the MLK assassination that I did not know about.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
Basically, what we're telling you guys, your school system is jack shit.
So,
Don't teach you nothing. They program you.
programming.
Yeah, so go ahead and I need you guys to invest in Dogecoin.
Yeah, and then you can give us all the money when it pops off. The other guy I was going to talk about, John Lennon. I don't know if anyone here in the room has heard of the band The Beatles, but yeah, John Lennon. He died December 8th, 1980. He was the founder, co-lead vocalist, and guitarist of the Beatles. He had a solo album after the Beatles split. I found this out with I don't know their name, but the song "Imagine" is on it. You good? Yeah. You good?
We're all good.
You good?
Just keep going.
Are we good?
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay.
Just to clarify, camera off.
Yes, it's off.
Well,
You
technical
can tell by
difficulties.
the wall.
That's terrible.
What do you mean you can tell by the wall?
There's no
Oh,
light.
there's no light. Oh no.
It's all right. I mean, we put this on SoundCloud now, so we got recording now.
Well, now there's gonna be a part in the video where you don't see our faces. You can just see that.
That's
yeah,
fine.
that's true.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They
So,
won't know what I'm talking
if you guys don't know, we're having some technical difficulties, but Nick,
Let's
carry
go.
on.
Let's go. I can not.
I can strip naked.
Yes, I can look better.
Wait a minute.
And they'll never
never know a thing. Woo!
Except the fact you just told all of them, right? Hold on, make sure they hear the buttons unbuttoned.
Yeah. Yeah, do it. All right, so I found out that he has a solo album. The song "Imagine" is on it. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's basically a song about imagine a world that's like peaceful and like full of peace. I find it funny that that's on there when he was at home beating his wife.
What?
I just wanted to throw that out there. I think it's very funny. Yeah.
That's a bombshell, dude.
He said, "Imagine a world full of peace and people loving each other." And
Everybody was
really
Well, I know,
giving it to his
ironic
wife
right
at
there.
home, man. Preaching that message.
That message.
He had a lot of criticism of the Vietnam War that he wrote in songs and that he was very vocal about, and he attended like little like parties and other things that was like against the Vietnam War. This led to a 3-year deportation attempt by the Nixon administration. They did not want him talking all that because he's a man of influence. So why would you want to go spew a bunch of shit in you man of influence? He returned to music after a 5-year hiatus in 1980 with the people that he made the album with. And he was killed 3 weeks later after he released the album that him and the band made called Double Fantasy. He died 3 weeks later by a Beatles fan. The guy that killed him was a fan of the Beatles. His name was Mark David Chapman. Lennon had walked into the archway of his apartment building, and Chapman had fired 5 shots at him from a couple feet away with a .38 revolver. 4 of the 5 shots had hit him in the back, and Lennon was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So Mark Chapman, he stayed at the scene, and he didn't even flee. He said that he killed John Lennon because he was upset about Lennon's lifestyle and public statements about the Beatles.
Just because he was a hippie who didn't like war.
Yep, literally. And
That's
he
messed up.
said something about the Beatles, saying that the band is bigger than Jesus. And Mark Chapman did not like that. So he was mad about stuff like that.
I was say, yeah, I couldn't imagine how well that went back in the day.
Yeah, I couldn't
With
imagine that.
America's as a country back then. I mean, it was 100% God-centered back then. Nowadays, you got people every which way. But,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, back then, that'd probably come down really harsh.
Yeah, it'd probably be a bad thing to say to people.
Newspapers, articles.
Yeah.
But hold on.
Especially during that time, and you don't like war.
I shall wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Mark also considered killing other public figures, such as David Bowie, Johnny Carson, Elizabeth Taylor, Paul McCartney, and even Ronald Reagan.
Dang, what?
He wanted to have a list.
I guess so.
His defense team tried to get him off on an insanity defense, like insanity plea, but after talking to him, they found out that his symptoms fell just short of schizophrenia. So he was like perfectly sane, he just kind of had some issues.
Dude, being so close to insane and them claiming you're not would probably literally drive you insane. Knowing you almost skated the charge. That's messed up. They done sent him to the bin and made him lose.
But it wouldn't have mattered because he pled guilty anyways, saying that it was an act of God.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely crazy.
Yeah. You got 20 years
That's
to life
diabolical.
with the stipulation that mental
That
health
man's
treatment
stuff.
must be provided.
God
So-
told me.
God told me to do it.
He said, wait a minute.
Don't ever. No.
He later said that he regrets it. He regrets killing John Lennon. He has been granted parole, like the eligibility for parole, but he's been denied over 13 times.
Good.
And they made 2 movies about him.
I'm saying he's gonna get out and go on a podcast and he's gonna be like, you know, I actually really like
He's
his
still alive.
music.
Yeah, he's still alive. So he's gonna get out, and the
Oh, I
first thing
did.
he's gonna do is play Imagine.
That would be terrible.
Um,
I think you'd almost have to lock him back up for a couple hours after that.
the 2 movies about him are The Killing of John Lennon, which came out in 2006, and Chapter 27, which came out in 2007.
The only bad part about movies like that is these people become famous. The good part
Yeah.
about it is that they aren't allowed to collect on stuff about crimes that they did.
No.
So that's good. But
It's just gonna
at the
glorify
same
it.
time, it gives them some type of notoriety. And if that's what the person's chasing, you just gave them everything they wanted.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
So I'm listening to my
let's
turn
hear
now.
Chris. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I took on the JFK assassination,
Let's go.
Let's go.
and
R.I.P.
I was ready deep into this. I'm gonna be honest.
Rest in peace.
So I even came up with my own theory. So I'll tell you my theory at the end.
Okay.
So everybody knows about Oswald being the shooter that shot JFK.
Lee Harvey Oswald, baby.
Well, I guess we want to be official. But,
Yeah.
Lee
For
Harvey.
some
We gotta use
reason,
the
that's
government
just
name
on
here.
no kidding.
my- That's just like on the top of my brain for some reason. And I didn't mean to sound excited about that, guys, actually. I just realized how that came out.
So
Not a good thing to be excited about. Not Lee Harvey Oswald.
So one of the theories,
Said I'll stop now.
one of the theories of the shooting is that Oswald acted alone. He planned this alone. He did it all by himself. It was just him overall. And FBI director J. Edgar Hoover expressed his preliminary finding that Oswald acted alone. So that's why I thought it was crazy that, and most of these stories brought up the FBI. But more than half a century later, it's starting to. Americans weren't convinced that he acted alone. So a former CIA operative, Bob Barr, attempting to demystify the link between Oswald, the Cubans, and the Soviets. So when I read that, I was like, okay, hold on, what?
There's some fishies here.
So I started digging into this more, where I told Brady and I told Justin about my theory, but as I dug into it more, it even made somewhat more sense, because during this time, when Kennedy was president, he initiated a blockade, a quarantine of putting ships all around Cuba, because I think the Soviets or Russia was trying to put missiles in Cuba. And so during that time, it's going to cause some heated arrangements, I would say, between Kennedy, the Soviets, and Cuba. And so with that all going on, but then I thought of another theory that it could have been an inside job, because the same CIA operative, after who was it? George H.W. Bush gave the okay to release the files for him to look at that he was recently looking at. Well, he goes to the archives, files are gone. They can't find them no more. There's documents in there that just shouldn't disappear, and they disappeared.
Hillary Clinton, that shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I thought that was another theory. And then, so before I actually talk about my last one, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my theory, because I thought my theory was pretty cool to come up with. So, when Kennedy became president, he raced Russia. And what did we race Russia for?
The moon.
Right.
The moon.
So, since that was a whole big thing to get to the moon first,
we faked it.
Oswald, 8 weeks before, we didn't land on the moon until 1969.
We've not.
That Hollywood set went crazy.
Come on, just hear him out real quick.
So, with the whole race going on, Oswald, as you know now, that he's linked to the Soviets.
Mm-hmm.
So, during this whole time, Oswald is going to... Actually, he went to, 8 weeks before the assassination, he went to a Soviet embassy meeting in New Mexico. So, he met with Soviets 8 weeks before this assassination. And so, with that happening, I was like, okay, so you're meeting with the people that were racing, and then you're the one to also pull the trigger. Something's kind of connecting here. So it really brings a spark of what's really up there. Why are we racing for this? And then why is it such a big deal that you guys had to, kill our president?
Maybe it's a thing they own it, even though no one owns it.
Right. So
to be the first.
Yeah, be the first.
I think that's it.
But I mean, to go and kill somebody over
winner.
That's what I'm thinking. But then there's this other part where.
Yeah, but don't first sound nice, Chris. Come on, dude.
First is the worst. Second is the best. Come on.
Last.
Ricky, Bobby.
Yeah, no kidding.
They was trying to shake and bake their way up to the moon. Baby.
What really got this CIA, former CIA operative, was that he met a defector from Cuba, who's one of the best CIA agents, and he said that on the 22nd of November 1963, 4 hours before the assassination, he what is it? He was He was at an intelligence site in Havana when he got a call from Castro's office saying, "Turn on all of your listening abilities to high frequency communications, and to make sure that it's out of Dallas because something's going to happen out there."
Insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's
So, in theory, basically, he didn't act alone. He was the only one to pull the trigger, but he did not act alone in this. I am
Government never does.
going to say that definitely Cuba and the Russians had a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
You heard it. He's on to you, Castro. That's Cuba.
Yeah, if we end up going this, then you guys know
That's
why.
wrong.
Castro's dead.
If I end up in Cuba, it's because of
He was
Justin.
on dude, Castro.
But no, so I just thought that's really weird because, like,
Two ways.
you're not, like we've been talking about,
He was my
basically, you're
favorite
not
to play
really
as
taught
in
all
5.
of this in history class. You're just taught about the person that shot the person. They don't tell you the backstories or like what was going on.
Yeah, that is true. Also very wild that they just breeze by these little details.
They breeze by a lot of details, and they just like to tell you, like, yeah, they got shot by this person because they
Two
wanted
theories
to.
really about the JFK assassination is that Castro and the Russians didn't like the blockade. The Russians supposedly agreed with Kennedy, but Russians and Cuba were still in contact, talking like, "Hey, let's take care of JFK," basically. And then, like I said, the other one is like maybe since Oswald met with the Soviet embassy 8 weeks before the assassination, they were talking about, "Hey, we're racing, so let's take care of this problem." Which, I mean, I think, as you guys are saying, like supposedly we landed first, so still, like, it just opens up another door for us to talk about the moon. Basically, is like, why were they racing and why was it such a big deal?
Definitely gonna have an episode on NASA, the moon race, and
Yeah, we got that up there.
If I know anything, the
I don't think
Transformers
so.
taught me they got
Well,
robots up
we
there.
got flat Earth, so I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, flat Earth's a whole
We'll
nother
talk about
thing. I guess it kind of goes here.
yeah.
So, but, all right, guys. As I close this out, though, what do you guys think about your theories? Do you guys believe in them? Do you guys think there's more to it?
I truly believe that Chris Cornell did not kill himself.
That one definitely sounded fishy.
100%. Like, yeah.
I don't think Chris Cornell killed himself either. It's hard for me to believe he did.
My case, I think that Hulu is the new Simpsons, and Simpsons were actually wrong this last time because Donald Trump did not die.
I don't even like Hulu. Their Hulu originals are not as good as Netflix originals.
You're not wrong.
I don't like originals from none of these. Like, they just mass produce TV shows and movies that are mediocre and the same as every other one that they
You're
make.
right.
The only reason
It's
why I
just
got
like-
Hulu is for Planet of the Apes.
Hulu can suck it. I don't care.
I mean, like, I
Or
definitely got some shows probably from both that I can watch.
Isn't Ghost Adventures
That
on
ain't
there?
what this
Yeah.
is about.
Ghost Adventures
yes.
is more on Max.
Ghost Adventures,
It's also
I
on
think,
Hulu.
Is it? I think it's because Hulu and Max have like a partnership, maybe.
But yeah, I think
all my homies hate
Hulu's
Hulu.
doing this stuff now.
Yeah, I don't even really watch Hulu.
I think
Kill John.
Or Iran.
I think it's crazy that we deal with public assassinations and public assassination attempts. I think just think about it in general. Like it's really wild that we still
I don't
deal with it to
really.
this day.
Yeah, I don't condone. Is that the word?
Condone, yeah.
Violence. I think it's petty.
I try
You don't
not to
like
condone
person,
violence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with Barry. Like, if you don't like the person, you ain't gotta go and kill them.
I'm all about sending a message, but I'm not about you killing somebody in public like that. I think there is a better way
You're
to
gonna
go about
traumatize
things.
people there, and now they're gonna need therapy.
like Susan, who just had her morning coffee and was there to support someone, doesn't deserve blood splat on her face because
Exactly.
you thought that Trump or Teddy or Ronald deserved it.
Yeah. That's very, very fair.
You shouldn't
No way to look at it.
You shouldn't do that.
All right,
In
guys.
reality, it's just the government.
All right, guys. So as we wrap this up, as you guys know, make sure to hit the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the like button, follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And as you guys know, we're your boys, and we're out.
Bye
Peace.
bye.